This week on Hitachi Social Innovation Forum 2017, we focus on the role of technology in water resources, planning and management. The path-breaking forum was attended by industry leaders who discussed and deliberated on ways to best manage this precious resource. We bring you an insightful tete-a-tete with Koichi Suzuki, the Chief Technology Officer, Industry and Water Business Administration Division, Hitachi.
Hitachi plays a crucial role in providing solutions to help companies, to help state governments in addressing this acute problem that we face here in the country. And let's understand a little bit more about the role that Hitachi plays with Mr. Suzuki, who's come all the way from Japan. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Mr. Suzuki, can you explain to us, we are talking about water management as part of infrastructure. One doesn't usually connect water and infrastructure. How do you see water management playing a role in the infrastructure development of a country?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much, and it's my great pleasure to be here today. And water is, of course, the most valuable and important basic material for the human life. So historically, any government in the world spend much money to create and construct the infrastructure system for water. But the water problem, especially in India, is very complex and very difficult to attack. So the very important issue is to make a good platform on that all the stakeholders of the water can collaborate, I believe. Yeah.
Right. As you said, it is a very complex problem. And in India, water is also a very political story because, unfortunately, a majority of Indians don't have access to clean, potable water. In terms of the technology solutions that are available, because what are the kind of solutions that are available, particularly for the rural areas and for urban areas, because access to potable water is one of the critical areas which this government is seeking to address. How can Hitachi and how can really companies and the technology help us in coming to some sort of solution?
Okay, so I think there are three pillars in what we can provide, we can contribute. So first one is that we provide, again, the platform on which the stakeholders can communicate and collaborate. And it is the IoT platform. The stakeholders can monitor and predict the water circulation and water consumption and water quality in the region. And it is the platform on which all the stakeholders can make the scenario to optimize the water management and test the scenario by simulation.
Okay, a final question in terms of waste water, because on one hand we have scarcity, but on the other hand we have a lot of wastage of water, and that is a criminal waste. How can we come towards, what are the solutions out there which can help us bridge this gap?
Okay, today, as I said, we have a good digitalization technology which can make the utility operation much easier. And along with this digitalization technology, nexus of the energy and the water. So using the sludge from the water treatment, we can generate the energy, we can generate the electricity. So with those two technology can make the wastewater treatment cost much lower and lower. And now the sewage, so wastewater treatment is from the cost center to more profit center to produce water and excess energy and other variable materials such as phosphorus.
Right.
So to produce those variable material and sell. So again, the wastewater treatment is a kind of resource, the water production utility today.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So clearly, these are critical aspects that we need. So let's bring our panelists on board. Thank you so much, Mr. Suzuki, for being there. And please stay with us on stage.
Next on the agenda was an insightful session on fight against water scarcity, the role of technology in water resources planning and management. In this session, we discussed the need for an efficient water management system in India and how technology can be deployed to ensure high-level utilization.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And I think we set the context a little bit about water resource, how to plan it better, how we can use technology. But let me start off with Vikas, because Vikas is somebody who has gone in, not just in the urban areas, which many of us are familiar with, our daily struggles of filling up the tanks, whether here in Delhi, but rural areas is much more acute. We had the finance minister talking about allocating a separate budget for fluoride-affected and arsenic-affected citizens. You know, just draw the picture for us. How badly off are we currently?
All across India, when we go across traveling in India, we're seeing groundwater tables going down. And they're going down dramatically. They're in a very bad state right now. And who's all this affecting the most? It's affecting people who cannot have the resources to draw this water. It's affecting people who are not able to clean this water. And who are these people? These people do not have the resources, they don't have the means.
So what is the percentage figure that we're talking about? The finance minister and the prime minister has promised that I think by the year 2020, am I correct? That there will be access to potable water and electricity, of course, for all villages. Do you think that is something that can come true?
It can come through, but then we need to work together on this.
How many people have access to potable water? Dr. S.K. Sarkar, if I may come to you.
I think, you see, if you look at the Millennium Development Goals, which we have just completed in 2015, we have been able to achieve the target, you know. So in terms of potable access of water, safe water, we are comfortable. Comfortable means although there is a huge number of population outside this access to water. But if you look at the sanitation and the water, we are a little comfortable in terms of the access of water. But it's still more than 100 million people still are without safe drinking water.
When we have the private sector involved, let me understand. Let me start with you, Amit Jain. What exactly is the role that you're foreseeing the private sector to take? Because clearly, water is a very emotive subject. It's a very political subject, and state governments know that there is political mileage. How do you come in as a private player?
So as a private player, I think, coming in as a crucial investor in the whole process, looking at being an inclusive kind of model in a public-private partnership kind of model where we can, look at involving the people, getting infrastructures on board, getting infrastructures managed in a better way.
So you would provide end-to-end solutions. For instance, the project you're doing with the government of Maharashtra in Nagpur, is it an end-to-end solution where you're using technology to service industry as well as consumers?
So yeah, in Nagpur, for instance, we are doing the entire water and wastewater management for the city of Nagpur. It's right from taking the water from the river right up till delivering it to customers and doing the customer service, billing, collection, everything. And on the wastewater side, we are treating the wastewater and providing it to power plants and industries nearby. So yes, it is an end-to-end. What helps also is it's a longer duration project. It's a 30-year concession period. So that puts us invested in the project for us to perform. So that, unlike other pure EPC projects where, people just are there for just doing the job and coming out. I mean, here we're invested in for a longer period of time. So that
30 years is a long gestation, and some would say that is the long-term view that one is required. Honestly speaking, this has my heart sinking. 2025 will be out of groundwater. Yes. Is there no light at the end of this tunnel?
We are a water-stressed country. By 2030 we will be water-stressed, and probably by 2050, estimates say that we will be a water scarce country in terms of per capita availability of water.
Hitachi Social Innovation Forum 2017 brought together industry leaders and experts to discuss the fight against water scarcity, the role of technology in water resources planning and management.
Shankar, let me come to you, because in terms of what you want to see as a private sector player, do you feel that it really depends on who is in power at different state governments, or do we have a cohesive policy at play that enables you to plan your investments?
So we believe that there's a huge opportunity for the entire nation with regards to water sector. And we are looking at water sector in three segments, in the sense that there needs to be sufficient water for the people. And then when the water is used, obviously there's a hygiene or the sanitation aspect. And then there is a waste disposal with regards to water, and just not water disposal, because when you treat the water, there's also a sludge management. So we need to look at this holistically. There have been a lot of discussions with regards to policy matters where we need to, we don't want them to remain at a policy level, we want implementation. And that's how we believe, as an entry of a private sector, we should ground the projects and make some visible changes and make an impact at a larger level. That's where we believe that the private sector has got a very key role as a developer and imbibing the right technologies. There are technologies, we heard Mr. Suzuki and Hitachi's presentation, a lot of technologies, they are available, but we need to package them as a total solution end to end. That's what we believe in.
Right.
We can bring in the financial
you
aspect
believe
also to bring
there
a
is
solution.
a huge market out there, but what
Yes.
kind of a market is it? I think that's what we need to understand. Mr. Suzuki, can you explain a little bit about what are the challenges you face? Do you feel that there is enough uniformity for you when you approach the market, whether you go state by state? Is it the same policy everywhere, and hence it's easier for you to offer your solutions, or it's very ad hoc?
In the country to country, and in the states to states, and the issue is changing, so not uniform.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you feel there is a lack of uniformity. In fact, Sumit, let me ask my colleague Sumit now to join me, because we have that question that we need to pose to our viewers.
Exactly, that's right. Quite an interesting question. I would love to see how we all answer this one. It says, do you believe that big data and IoT can improve the efficiency of water resource management?
Press A if you think yes, and press B if you think no. So the audience verdict is 77.27% have said yes. On that note, over to you, Paramita.
Let's go towards closing comments here, because you are lamenting about the state of the rural scenario. But give us some solutions. We have a lot of technology available which is being used in the rural areas. Do we need a marketplace model?
You know, we have a lot many solutions which we've tried out in rural areas, but nothing seems to be working right now. We've got RO, for example. RO is something which, you know, is a foolproof solution to fluoride removal.
But no, but one second. Why isn't it working?
Yeah, that's what I'm coming to.
Right.
It's not working because there is no thought given into maintenance post putting up the plant. I'm seeing this across India right now. We keep on traveling and we're seeing that there's no
hold
attention
on.
paid.
So why is there no thought put into maintenance?
Because there's no better systems once the technology is introduced, once the RO plant is put, for example.
Right.
There's no follow-ups which are happening, you know,
Okay.
by whoever the responsible authorities are, the government in most of the cases. They're lying as dead elephants in rural areas. We've seen that happening. So unless you
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, thanks to the IoT technology, we can consolidate the monitoring and operations of utilities, and even the small wells. We can consolidate the monitoring.
But the willpower needs to be there. Is there willpower? Like, for instance, yes, go ahead, Amit.
I mean, I think the water supply bodies, or the ULBs, they have a negative cycle, right? I mean, they're currently losing money on every water that they're supplying because of tariffs, because of aging infrastructure, and because of loss of water in the non-revenue water, which we call NRW, which has 50% in some states. So technology can help reduce these losses, right? And once they are self-sustainable, they have the money to make these systems work once again. So you have to enable these ULBs to, get more profitable.
Shankar, have you analyzed how many ULBs are actually profitable or in the black? Are there any at all?
ULBs are expected to really deliver solutions, but I agree they are not able to. That's only because of their, I would say, the level of competencies to handle the technologies. Even if you bring the next technologies, ULBs have to really own that asset and do it. So there have been many assets created, but we are not able to sweat the assets and really get them to perform. But in the process, for example, as Dr. Sarkar said, agriculture and the industries
Take up
really
90%.
want the recycled water, but we are not able to mandate those sectors to really use the recycled water. We are not able to capture the wastewater and then put them onto a
So
solution.
honestly speaking, this has my heart sinking. 2025 will be out of groundwater.
Yes.
There is no political
we
will. We don't seem to be using technology effectively. Then are we looking at a completely, is there no light at the end of this tunnel, Dr. Sarkar?
No,
Are we doing something right?
I think the situation is quite depressed in the sense that we are a water-stressed country. By 2030 we will be water-stressed, and probably by 2050 estimates say that we will be a water-scarce country in terms of per capita availability of water.
Before we leave, before we wrap up, because we can't end on a gloom and doom note, we have to talk about the future on a more positive
There's a
note.
whole
Yes.
list.
No, just one thing.
Yeah, I'm
what
saying
would you
there's a
pick?
whole
Okay,
list generally.
okay, great. Yes, Mr. Suzuki, what do you think when you look at the situation and Hitachi has been, observing the Indian scenario? What would you suggest?
Okay, as I said again and again, we provide the platform to
Right. So build that platform.
Yeah, so collaboration platform.
Okay, so this is a technology platform that you provide for all stakeholders to speak to each other?
Yeah, all the stakeholders speak together. All the stakeholders can monitor and predict what's going on in the water sector.
And that will automatically bring coordination.
Yeah.
So bring that platform. Yes.
For me, stressing on water as a basic fundamental right.
You've told us
is
what all
first.
is not working. I want to know what is working.
That's what I'm coming to.
Right, okay.
We need to understand the right to water as a basic fundamental right, at least in rural areas to start with, because they don't have the affordability for water. Now, if at all we're not able to do that straight away, we need to work together with people. We need to co-create solutions that we're giving them together with them so that the best options go forward.
But what's the cost of that technology? Who's going to pay that price?
I think it's something that a consumer or private, that's where the private sector comes in, I think,
Right.
Because as we discussed...
No, you started by saying consumer.
No, sorry.
Okay.
That's where the private sector comes in because,
Right.
because private sectors have to look at how to make these models sustainable. For instance, as we discussed before...
So this technology is there, the solutions are there, we just need to get everybody together.
Exactly. I think make it win-win situation for all.
But Shankar, do you think a commercial bottom line can solve this problem, or it is necessitated because it is a scarce commodity?
No, the solutions are possible and we should start acting now. We believe the right solution to begin with immediately is a close discussions between the private player, the developers on a PPP mode, and get them to join with the government and start implementing the projects and focus on large implementable projects, starting with sanitation, recycle, and then release water for the rural area. So it is possible. The solutions are possible. It is there. It's for the government to really take cognizance of the ability of the private players to really deliver the project and total solution.
Dr. Sarkar, if you were the Minister of Water Resources, would you say from today my target is going to be the irrigation sector because it's the biggest consumer and it's the most inefficient usage of the scarce commodity?
Yes, I fully agree with you because irrigation, the major chunk of water use is in irrigation.
It should be a national initiative, but I'm glad. I think it's brought home the urgency of the problem, but it's not without hope because there are solutions and we need to work on them. And thank you, audience. Thank you, panelists, for joining us. And that brings us to the end of this session.